Yo, what's up guys? I hope you're doing well. The top selling game right now on Steam is a game called Mewgenics, a game that looks like this. A game where you breed and you play with a party of cats in a turn-based combat kind of scenario. So why does this weird indie game that looks like this have overwhelmingly positive reviews, over 6,000 reviews on Steam the day after release, and have over 70,000 players? And I'm going to assume after playing it that this is on the uptrend as well. Why? Why is this doing so well? Well, it's because of this man here. And if you're a fan of the roguelike genre, you'll be familiar with this name because Edmund is the creator of The Binding of Isaac. And I personally would hold Binding of Isaac as the gold standard of the genre. It's one of the best games. It's a game that has hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of hours that received constant updates for over many years. And I will tell you, as soon as I saw that this man worked on this game, it was an instant purchase. Day one, I bought this without knowing anything. All I saw was the cats. It was on the front page of Steam. There was a picture of the cat and I bought it. I didn't know what it was. And let me tell you, I haven't been disappointed. This game is phenomenal. So without further ado, let's get into the review and talk about what is Mewgenics. So I would say Mewgenics is two games in one, and I'm going to explain this as if you've never played a roguelike game before, but you have the part that takes place in the house where the cats are all running around, and then you have the part where the cats go on adventures, where you take a team of 4 cats and you go and you fight monsters on these big roguelike adventures where you collect gear, fight monsters, bosses, and solve puzzles. And then hopefully, if you're lucky, you will return home with all of the loot to your house. And then you have to prepare for the next adventure and get the next 4 cats ready to go back out. Cats once that have come back cannot go back out on an adventure, so you're trying to prepare the next generation. So it's kind of like The Sims, where you're trying to build a house, fill it with furniture, and make sure everyone's needs are met and everyone's happy. Except in Mewgenics, there is a savage twist, because you're trying to breed the perfect characters, the perfect cats for the adventure. So there are roles. You can be an archer, you can be a tank, you can be a healer, you can be a necromancer. And to fill these roles, you want the cats with the perfect stats. You want high intelligence, high strength, high health. You want the abilities that are bred from the parents to make them fit those roles. So you want like your archer to have like double shot, your healer to have revive, things like that, keeping it really, really simple. And that just comes from having these cats together and trying to form the perfect lineage. So when you're trying to do that and you're trying to make these cats, what happens to all of the other cats that fall short? Well, they go down the pipe. And this is where your long-term progression lies. There's like this map, and there are a bunch of characters on the map, and they have quests. They have certain types of cats that they want that you have to send them, and when you do, you'll unlock new systems, you'll unlock new things, and you'll progress your game and make your overall runs better. Send retired cats to Frank and he will add an extra room to your house. Send injured cats to Jack and he will add more furniture for sale to the furniture store. And that's how the progression works. Your house gets bigger, you can have more cats, you can have more furniture, you can have more different classes will unlock, so you can get stronger on your runs. You'll be able to take more with you and bring more back, or different, stronger things with you and bring bigger hauls of gold and items back with you. And that's the progression. If you've played any sort of roguelike game like this, like like Binding of Isaac or something like Hades, you'll be very familiar with this kind of system where at the start you're like, well, how on earth do people get past this first map? And then when you've been playing for 12, 24 hours, you'll be sitting on Act 2 going, okay, I need to get this and this, and then I can probably get to here. And it all feels really, really smooth, and you're really rewarded for the amount of time you play. Okay, now let's talk about what you'll be doing for the majority of the game. Most of your time will be in this turn-based combat, in this roguelite experience. So you pick 4 characters, you pick 4 cats, you send them off to adventure, you try and get the best ones possible with the best stats, and you send them off. You give them a class. They can be, a wide range, and you unlock more as you go. Think tank, healer, DPS, that kind of thing. You send them off on an adventure, and then you have the traditional roguelite map where you are on a linear map and you choose the paths, basically. You've seen it all before if you've played any game like this. And then when you get into battles, you have the combat. And this looks like a really simple, I move in front of the monster, I hit it, I step up next to it and I shoot a bow, right? It looks so simple, but let me tell you, the amount of depth here is wild. You're not just making characters, you're making full, huge builds on every character. And there is like you perma lose the characters. When you lose them, the cats are gone. They literally turn into a blob on the ground and they can be destroyed and they're gone. And there are lots of like characters and debuffs that can just fully wipe out your cats. And when you lose them, you're not just losing like, oh, I lost one of the 4 cats. Oh, well, I'll just go again. You might be losing a cat that you've been like trying to perfect for like 3 generations. You know, I've got the perfect mage. It's the perfect mage. He's got the meteors I like. And he's got fire buff damage. He's the perfect fire build mage. And then you can just lose him in one wild turn where something goes wrong. And there's also like a thing in the game, so you can't just like save scum your way through. So this is really, really intense combat. And like I say, every character has a build. One of like, I can't go into like tons of depth on every single thing because it's a combination of 3 things. It's a combination of your class and how that character is, you know, how that cat is designed. So what was he bred to have? Does he have like high stats, certain abilities? Then it is your items. So as you're going through, you can pick up a selection of items, and a cat can hold like, I want to say 5 items. He can have a weapon, 3 pieces of armor, and then a consumable. So you can have all of this on your cats, and that can fully change the build. There's also tier sets, which you'll get later on. And then the third way you build them out is, but as you're playing, as you're going on this adventure, you will level them up. And every time you level them up, you can get a choice of stats, and you can choose one new ability or level up an old ability. And this can be active or passive. So what you end up with is these really, really powerful combos and unique builds that you have to make on the fly. And the further you get in the game, the easier it is to make these. So when you first start out, you're just throwing stuff together, hoping for the best. Later on, you'll have like the perfectly bred character that has like the perfect start for a build. Then you'll try and find the perfect items to take with you. You'll try and hit like the right things. And like, then you'll have something that is just amazing. You'll have broken builds too. So my favorite for like, just to give you a few examples, one of my favorites is on the tank. I like to get the leapfrog ability. So instead of being like a slow, heavy tank, you can jump across the map. So you can jump across the map, find like the biggest threat, and then just have a selection of abilities that just combo pummel the biggest monster on the battlefield. It feels so fun. I love the necromancer because you can like summon, you can charm enemies, you can summon like zombies, you can defeat something and then raise it back. There's so much you can do. You can even do something where if you go down or you make yourself like go down in combat, you can then become more powerful and play as your own ghost. I can't do it justice in a review because I'm like, I don't even know, like 20, 30 hours in, and I feel like I haven't scratched the surface. There's so much depth, and the more you play, the more you see. And then as you're playing, you obviously start with like the basic fights. You go to bosses, you go to these really advanced, fights where they all have like unique mechanics. There's things that can, poison, bleed, slow. There's one monster that can like destroy your equipped items. There's so much you wouldn't expect from a game like this. For example, I'll show one clip. There's this boss, and when you start the fight, he has his body and his head, and they're both coming at you at the same time, and you have to fight them both. I destroyed the head, and it was left on the floor. I bought my necromancer who had the resurrect ability, and I resurrected the head to fight on my side, and then beat the body with his own head. And stuff like that just doesn't happen in a lot of games. This has so much complexity that if you like turn-based games and you can get past, maybe you don't like the graphics and you don't like the cat side, play it alone for the combat. I really don't think you'll be disappointed. And then I quickly want to talk on progression and replayability, because I think that's one of the biggest concerns when you look at this. You go, okay, well, that could be fun for a run or 2 or 3, but then you're going to hit a point where you've done everything. No, no. So there is the progression on the maps. So you have, the progression of sending certain cats to certain people, and that involves lots of runs, lots of doing stuff around the house and breeding new cats and growing your house and what you can do and how many you can hold. And that takes a long time. And then you have the actual building of the house and placing the furniture to meet their needs, and all that stuff is very time consuming. And then every time you go on a run, the runs get longer and longer because, see, I don't want to ruin it because there's multiple acts, right? And I've only tried to show stuff from Act 1 for the most part, but there are multiple acts. And even just in one act, say you're playing Act 1, you'll get to the end, you'll go back, you'll unlock something, and the next time you run Act 1, you'll be able to go to a second map afterwards. And that doubles the time of the run. Finish it, the next time you go, you can do 3 maps in a row. So the runs get longer and longer and longer. And with it, the progression gets more and more rewarding because you're unlocking more and more things, more items, more abilities your classes can learn, more things around the house that you can do. The depth you go to is so good, and it actually rewards you because of how the quests work. And you're slowly trying to upgrade your house and unlock new skills and unlock new classes. Okay, so overall, should you play Mewgenics and is it for you? I would say there's 2 boxes to tick here, and if you tick them both, go get the game right now. Turn-based combat. Do you like deep strategy turn-based combat? Not simple, where you can just like master it in a few hours. Really deep with tons of complexity and a lot of RNG along to go with it. Do you like that style of combat with like permadeath mechanics as well? If you do, this is incredible. One of the best out there. It's really hit a high bar, I think. Then do you like roguelites? Do you like, and I keep saying a roguelite, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is one where you do a run, you get something, you get a bit of progression, and then you go to another run, and then you get a little bit stronger, you do another run. If you like that, this is, again, it's made by one of the best roguelike game developers out there. So if you like that, I think this is a must buy. If either of those 2 things put you off, that's the game. The game is a roguelike turn-based game. And if either of those things aren't for you, I think it would be a deal breaker, to be honest. The last thing I'll put in as like a caveat, the last thing that might turn some people off is the humor. The humor is very brass. It's old school. Everything's on the table. They make fun of everything. There's just any sort of jokes thrown in, poop jokes, childish humor. It's all here. And if you're easily offended, you might get offended in this game because they just make a joke out of everything. But yeah, if you're easily offended, there might be parts of the humor here that you clash with. But overall, I think it's a fantastic game. It's really surprised me, and it's definitely going to be a game I rack the hundreds of hours in easily. So let me know what you think. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on this. Have you got it? Have you tried it? Or are you going to pick it up? Or maybe it looks absolutely terrible and you're thinking, why are you playing a game where cats are just jumping around pooping everywhere? And that's fair. But thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. Catch you in the next one.